Hi everyone, this video will cover lesson 11, which is for the servo. I'll build the physical system and then we'll also take a look at running the Arduino code. If you don't have Arduino installed yet, go ahead and pause the video and go over to the video that shows you how to install the software, and then you can come back here and do lesson 11. Let's open up the PDF that has all the lessons in it. It has a table of contents where you can click to whichever lesson you're looking for. We're going to do the servo, and they have an overview of the purpose and general description of the lesson, and then it has a list of required components. For this one, we'll need the Uno R3 board, the servo itself, and then 3 male-to-male connecting wires. You can read all the specifics about the equipment, and then they also have a diagram that's really helpful in showing you where the connections go. Sometimes they have multiple, which can just give you a better visual. Then they have a description of the code, and we'll take a look at the code later. And finally, a picture of what the outcome should look like. This is the kit I have, so your parts might look slightly different, but they should still be pretty similar. This is what the final product will look like for lesson 11, the servo lesson. This will of course plug into your computer's USB port. This is the Uno R3 board. You can take a close-up look at all the connections. And then this is the servo itself. There are different heads that you can choose to put on it. I've chosen this single-sided one. So starting out from all separate parts, we're going to start with the servo connecting to jumper wires. You'll see that its connection is female type, and to connect to the board we're going to need to switch that to male type, and that's where these come in. It's easiest just to match the colors as best you can, so I'm putting blue with brown, red to red, and then white to yellow or orange. Again, your system might have slightly different colors or patterns. Just make sure you're paying attention to which colors you're connecting. So I've labeled these just to tell myself which ones go where, but you can also check in with the PDF to see which cables are supposed to connect. So we have our servo connected to the male-to-male jumper wires, and now we're going to connect the male jumper wires to our Uno R3 board. This is the Uno R3 board. We're going to zoom in so we can see the inputs and outputs a little bit better. Okay, we need to make 3 connections. The first one is going to be this white or orange cable into digital 9, that's over here on the right. Next is ground, and for that one I'm using my blue or brown cable. And then we have 5 volts, which for me is the red cable. Now all we have to do is connect the USB to our Uno R3 module, and then connect the USB to your computer. Now that we've built the physical system, we're going to take a look at the code. So you can open directly from Lesson 11 Servo Sweep. And it may come up with this pop-up asking if you want to create a folder with the same name. Go ahead and click OK, because that's the requirement that Arduino has. And then it's going to open up the code. Now there's 2 main parts. This one is setup. It only runs once, and then loop, as loop would suggest, runs again and again and again. Then up here is opening the library that gives Arduino the language it needs to run the servo. And the main button you need to use is this right-facing arrow, which says upload. When we click that, you'll see down here in the bottom left it says compiling sketch, and has a loading bar on the right. and we get an error because my USB is not plugged in. So make sure you have all of your connections checked and double checked before you try and run code. So if we try that again, it says uploading, and then we see the servo starting to move. One easy way to stop the code while it's running is to go to File and then New, and that will open up blank code. And if I hit Upload, we'll see it's compiling Sketch, and then once it finishes uploading, the servo stops because there's no action in the loop for it to perform. Taking a look at the PDF again, we see that our system pretty much matches, the only difference being the head to the servo that they're using. So you can play around with different settings here to see how it affects what the servo does, and then you can go to other lessons and work on those. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or your TA. Good luck!